everyone! So today I'm here to review the NARS Virtual Domination Blush Palette. It retails for $65 US, $75 in Canada, and contains a highlighter that is 0.15 ounces, 3 blushes that are 0.15 ounces, and a bronzer that is 0.35 ounces. The palette is limited edition and exclusive to Sephora online and in stores. It is said to be a limited edition holiday cheek palette with the best-selling shades. Miss Liberty is described as a soft, shimmering peach. Deep Throat is described as a flirty sheer peach. Sex Fantasy is described as a pale lavender pink. Final Cut is described as a peach coral. And Laguna is described as a diffused brown powder with golden shimmer. To start off, I want to mention what a great value this palette is. The NARS blushes individually retail for $30 US, $35 in Canada, and contain 0.16 ounces of product. The NARS bronzers individually retail for $38 US, $45 in Canada, and contain 0.28 ounces of product. So this palette actually contains more than a full-size single Laguna bronzer. So with that said, this palette is actually a $160 US or $190 Canadian value. You're getting to try 5 shades for roughly the price of 2 full-size blushes. The packaging for all of NARS's holiday collection is inspired straight from Chris Kabatzi's Nebula print. It still feels holiday-esque. It reminds me of cracked ice, just without following the traditional overdone snowflakes and glitter. The palette itself features a mirror, and despite the fact that it is pretty heavy for what it is, it does feel sturdy and durable. Miss Liberty is a light golden peach with warm undertones and a white champagne sparkle. The texture was soft, smooth, and sat nicely on the skin. The occasional fine sparkle was noticeable, but overall this highlighter left a very luminous sheen on the skin that didn't emphasize the look of pores or imperfections. Miss Liberty lasted 8 hours before fading. Deep Throat is a light to medium pink coral with warm undertones and a golden sheen. The texture was soft, smooth, and blended easily on the skin. It had good color payoff that was buildable and lasted 8 hours before fading around the edges. Sex Fantasy is a light lavender pink with cool undertones and a flat matte finish. This shade is limited edition and exclusive to the set. The texture was soft, smooth, finely milled, but powdery, both in the pan and on the skin. It had a decent color payoff that was buildable. It blended nicely on the skin and lasted 7.5 hours before fading. Final Cut is a medium to dark orange coral with warm undertones and a flat matte finish. This shade is limited edition and exclusive to the set. The texture was soft, smooth, but a tad powdery. Once again, both on the skin and in the pan. It had good color payoff that was buildable. It blended nicely on the skin and lasted 8 hours before fading. Laguna is a medium to dark brown with warm undertones and a subtle golden sheen. The texture was soft, smooth, but a very tad powdery once applied to the skin. It had good color payoff that was buildable, and it blended out nicely and easily. For those of you that have fair, pale complexions like myself, I found that this bronzer did pull a little too yellow at times to be worn as a nice contour shade, but it does leave a very luminous, nice, subtle glow on your cheeks. Laguna lasted 8.5 hours before fading. So overall, the palette is a great value and contains a nice range of coral to pink blushes. It's also nice that it contains a highlighter and a bronzer, so in a way it's kind of a 3-in-1 palette. The textures of this palette are a smidgen powdery when compared to the full-sized formula, but the performance and wear time of these cheek products are still great. So I would highly recommend checking this palette out, whether you're planning on gifting it, indulging in the brand's best-selling blushes for the first time for yourself, or you're a longtime fan wanting to get your hands on the beautiful limited edition packaging and shades. And for all of you die-hard NARS blush fans out there, isn't it so nice not to see orgasm in a blush palette for once? Oh my goodness, one can only have so many NARS orgasm blushes laying around. So be sure to let me know in the comments below if you'll be checking this palette out, if you've already picked it up, or what your thoughts are on it in general. As always, don't forget to check out my blog for more details, photos, and swatches, as well as like, comment, and subscribe to show your support. If you'd like to give me a follow, all of my social media links are listed down below in the description. As I always say, I hope you found this review helpful, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and thank you so much for watching.